In this one, it's my new FPL series, Meta Moves. If you've been watching me since pre-season, you'll know that Meta stands for the most effective tactics available, and today I'll be sharing my own tactical insights on popular FPL dilemmas like what to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Arsenal defense, whether Phil Foden is actually worth buying, and I'll also be showing you a fully meta differential that's going to help you optimize your own team and climb those mini league rankings. Thinking Cap activate. So, one of the biggest questions I see popping up on FPL Twitter is what to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Is he worth the 7.1 million? Are the upcoming fixtures good enough to warrant keeping him? And what's the opportunity cost of doing so? What are you losing out on by keeping him? So Trent is currently the highest point scoring defender in the game. He's accumulated 41 points in the 7, but the last 7 fixtures were better for clean sheets and attacking returns than this next run of upcoming games for Liverpool. Trent has Chelsea at home next, and it's likely that Chelsea do score. But if you remember last season, Connor Bradley hit 21 points in this exact fixture, a goal and 2 assists, so I don't think it's horrible from an attacking perspective, especially considering Cucurella is suspended. But let's disregard the Chelsea fixture. Is Trent going to be in the FPL meta across the next 5 weeks? Well, Arsenal away in Game Week 9 is certainly the worst fixture for Trent, but after that it's back-to-back home games against Brighton and Villa, then an away trip to Southampton after the final international break of the year. I don't think Liverpool have many clean sheets in this run at all. Brighton, Villa, Chelsea and Arsenal are all very dangerous attacking teams, and from a fixtures perspective, Trent is definitely a sell. On the flip side of the coin though, his attacking stats are one of the best, if not the best, in the game. In the creative metrics, Trent has been dominating. He ranks first out of all defenders in big chances created, BPS average, expected assists, and expected goal involvements per 90. The one concern with his numerical stats is his goal threat. Trent's only been averaging 0.06 XG per 90, and he's 17th for shots on target per 90, two numbers which aren't indicative of big goal threat potential. I do think Trent's goal potential I do expect it to increase as the season goes on, but based on what we've talked about, it's likely that Trent is sliding out of the FPL meta. But I still think there's only one situation where I'd say selling Trent is fine, and that's if you're upgrading one of your attacker spots to a premium Palmer, Saka, Son, or Foden. If you're just, moving funds around to improve your defense or your 8th attacker, I really don't think moving Trent out is worth it, just because there's not many defenders who will consistently take over points, and I know for sure that's exactly what Trent is going to do with added explosive potential as well. I'm also of the belief that this game week is the best exit point if you're looking to sell, because if you get to game week 9 with Trent still in your team, you're going to struggle to sell him because it would only be one game, Arsenal away, until his fixtures turn into that really nice patch from game weeks 10 to 12, and at that point I'd probably hold. So if you're thinking of selling Trent to upgrade an attacker to a premium, that looks like a good move, and I would do it this week. The next move we'll be discussing involves Arsenal defense. Should you be holding them? Should you be selling them? Have they fallen out of the FPL meta? Obviously, they did fail to keep a clean sheet against both Leicester City and Southampton at home. And I've had a lot of people ask me questions, what are my personal plans with my double Arsenal defense? I've got Gabriel and Saliba, and I will say that I'm not planning to sell any of them anytime soon. Arsenal still rank 3rd best in the league in terms of XGC, expected goals conceded, and although some of their other stats have been rather poor, they've played Man City away, Aston Villa away, and Spurs away, and have come out of those 3 matches undefeated. So I still have the faith in the double Arsenal defense, but look, I do understand if you wanted to move one of them on. They rank 12th worst from shots conceded in the box, 11th worst from shots conceded on target, and 16th worst in the league from defensive errors made. Now, none of their defensive errors have led to goal, and I understand these stats aren't encouraging for clean sheets, but it's only 6 goals conceded in 7. 6 goals, guys. I still think they're, one of the strongest teams in the Prem defensively, and I think once they get back a Ben White, Odegaard, and some other injured players, we'll see these numbers start to improve with the good fixtures they have long term. And they do have some great long term fixtures, game week 12 and beyond. So Forest, West Ham in there. They've also got Palace and Fulham. So I think selling them off right now is a bit of a short sighted move, in my opinion. Arsenal defenders are still full meta, and I would recommend holding them. We also know that Arsenal's defenders, at least the outfield defenders, not Raya, have very good attacking potential, with Arteta being a set piece guru. Add that in with the good long-term fixtures, and I don't really see any reason why you'd need to sell a Gabriel or a Saliba. Phil Foden has been a highly debated player across the international break. He's only started twice in the Prem this season, and one of those starts was in game week 1 when he got hooked at halftime due to an injury. And just doing a bit of digging around the community, the main concerns I've heard about Foden are number 1, expected minutes, and number 2, form. Let's discuss X minutes first, and I expect Foden to play 95% of Man City's upcoming minutes. He received 90 minutes for England, and last season he started almost every game under Pep when he didn't play injury/illness issue and he wasn't in the squad. So I do think Foden will receive around 80 minutes or more in every game across the next 4, just because of De Bruyne is on his way back, and De Bruyne is another concern. What happens when De Bruyne's back? Will Foden be benched? Is it worse for Foden's X minutes? And I can comfortably say that KDB's return will probably benefit Foden, because if De Bruyne is ready to start, I expect Pep to make him the priority sub, as we saw last season when KDB would get the early subs and come off the bench at times. Foden and KDB, they can start together as well, so I don't really think that there's any concern with KDB impacting Foden's reliability. But on to the form concerns, I don't think Foden is in the best form, but a couple of weeks ago in the Champions League, he bagged a goal and an assist, so I think he is perfectly capable of delivering. It's just, will he start banging in 1 to 2 weeks, or will he start banging in 5 to 6 weeks? And that's the reason why I think a ton of people are turned off Foden at the moment. They want to see him do it in the Prem before moving there, and I'm kind of the same belief. I think there are a few situations though where I think Foden in this week to bring him in is okay. And number 1 is that if you don't have a Haaland team, if you have a no Haaland team, so you're going to need some City coverage in the next 3 to 4 games, because they're topping most of the goal projections, and you're going to need some coverage against Haaland, and that's what Foden offers: City attack coverage. Number 2, if you're planning to captain Foden in the upcoming weeks, or you think Foden would be a very good captaincy option for you, then I would definitely bring him in. I wouldn't be moving there unless there's a strong chance that Foden becomes one of your captaincy part of your captaincy matrix in one of the upcoming weeks, which is why for those with no Haaland, definitely get Foden for the Southampton game, and even earlier. That's a really smart play, because the majority of the other premiums who you have that are going against Haaland have tougher fixtures. I also think that, if you are looking to bring in Foden for a personal captaincy matrix, and I think you can wait until next week, because Southampton obviously is the best entrance point. You get a week extra of sample size, but if you are Haalandless, definitely get him in if you've got the free transfers to do so. And I guess the final question is, will Foden enter the FPL meta? If we take a look at goal involvement projections from now until the end of the season, Foden actually sits 5th top on 18 GA projected. For a player not on pens, 18 GA is really solid projection numbers, and it just shows us, right, that Foden, he should make his way into the FPL meta soon enough. If you catch those big holes before most of the community does, you will be absolutely cooking up a storm. Only 5.6 owned in the whole game at the moment, which is definitely one of the lowest premium ownerships you're going to get all season. I'd like to welcome you to a new section, the Sleeper Selection. One player every game week, under 10% owned, mega differential, mega upside. The Sleeper Selection was made with the help from my very good friend, an FPL thread legend and a master of differential picks. This guy was on to Barco last season. He recommended Buonanotte in game week 3, and he's helping me make this part of the video every week. So if you're on Twitter, go drop him a follow at FPL Skyline. His link is in the video description below. And this week's Sleeper Selection is Matthias Cunha, Wolves forward, priced at 6.5 million. He's accumulated 30 points in 7 games, scoring 3 goals. He's 8th in total points for forwards currently, and although Wolves are at the bottom of the table, listen to the fixtures they've played: Arsenal, Chelsea, Villa, Liverpool, Forest away, Brentford away. Their fixtures were really, really bad. And after this Man City game, they're going to turn into a beautiful patch. Cunha, and look, I rate him. He's a proper player. One of the reasons why Cunha also has recently elevated towards the FPL meta is because Chan, who took a couple of pens for Wolves last season, he picked up a serious injury on international duty, which is in around 8 to 10 weeks out, and the surgery is required for this injury, which means Cunha is nailed for pens in that Wolves team. And with their upcoming fixtures after Man City, it's Brighton, Palace, Southampton at home, then Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich, and Leicester. So he's going to be fully meta very, very soon. If we take a look at what Cunha's produced so far, he's top 8 in most of the key attacking metrics for strikers. First out of all forwards for XA per 90, third for big chances created, and sixth for shots on target per 90. His non-pen XG per 90 is 11th, which isn't amazing, but we know the caliber of defenses he's played so far. I expect that statistic in particular to improve significantly over the next 10 weeks. He's on pens, excellent assist threat, and we believe he is fully meta. And that is it for this FPL meta video. If you did enjoy this one, if you enjoyed the new style and format, and if you found some of my tactical insights helpful, then do me a massive solid and subscribe to my channel. Peace.